It was a rainy day. That's the first thing I think about when I think about March 8th, 2005. My sister and I had just found out that our mom didn't want us anymore. And so, after crying and just not even knowing what to do and where we were going to go, we were told we were going to be in foster care. At the time, we were 12 years old, and I think everyone at that age has heard the horror stories of foster care and everything. And so we were really not happy about that. We were just happy that we had each other in God. That's the one thing we always say. I'm glad you have each other in God. So we finally go to this place. It was a shelter, basically a group home for children. And when we first got there, we saw a bunch of little kids, and there was actually the age limit was from like infant to 12 years old. So we um had just made it. So we were the oldest ones there, and we were supposed to be there for temporary, but we actually ended up being there for about 3 or 4 months. Or we're really supposed to be there for like a month. So after that, I mean, the whole experience of being in a group home, it was actually okay. Like the kids were nice. They had went through a lot because they were away from their parents. These were like 3-year olds, 4-year olds, and it was really sad. Everyone, I just saw that no matter what age you are, you need a parent at some time, and especially at that young age, they need a parent. But yeah, one day our social worker told us that we were going to meet a foster parent at a restaurant, Red Lobster. Oh, it wasn't Red Lobster. It was what's the name of that? Friendly's restaurant. I don't know if you've heard of that. If that's in your area, but so we met this lady at Friendly's, and we ordered food and everything. Personally, something didn't seem right with the lady. Like she was nice, but something didn't seem right. Like I just saw a mean streak. Like I don't know how to explain it. I don't know if anyone knows what I'm talking about. It pretty much even seemed like she was putting on a show. And I remember from the beginning, our worker told us, my sister and I, that if we didn't feel comfortable living with the lady, then we could tell her, then she would go find someone else. When I told the worker that I really didn't feel comfortable with the lady, she said okay and that she would try to find something, but she didn't. I remember even before we left, the lady kept saying about how kids need to be in their place and how adults are more. But the lady was pretty much implying that adults are more important than children. Like we're not as important. We're not pretty much like we're lower than adults. And at that point, I was like, something's not good. It's not gonna be too much fun living with her. And yeah, she just seemed like really strict and really mean. But it just seemed like she was trying to hide it behind a smile or a friendly face. So anyway, we said goodbye to the lady. I was hoping that would be the last time that we would ever see her again, but unfortunately it wasn't. Weeks later, we ended up finding out that we had to live with the lady because there was no one else to take us in. So we started loading her stuff into the lady's car from the group home. And then she actually started yelling at me in the driveway. She was telling me that I need to hurry up and that she didn't have all day and all this other stuff. And at that point, I just wanted to turn back around, go back in that group home, and go to another home or just stay at the group home because the group home had become my home. I didn't even want at that point I didn't even want to leave. But yeah, so I just kept on packing. I didn't want to do it, and I had a feeling that this was going to be a long journey. It was going to be a big mistake living with this lady, and I hated it. Like I like being right sometimes, but in this situation, I hated that I was right. I hated that I was really right about my feeling, and unfortunately, it just got worse after that.